Hi, this is week 2, day 4, the max product subarray. So, if you've done a few questions, you must have come across the maximum sum subarray. In that, you use an algorithm where you calculate the sum of elements, right? And you have to find the maximum sum subarray. So, like 2, 3. Here, it's similar, but instead of sum, we have product. So, in this example, you cannot make anything. In this example, you have this 2, 3, minus 2 and 4. So which is the subarray which has the largest product? Now to do this in a brute force manner would be very easy. Just two for loops for left from 0 to n and for right from 0 to n. Just calculate the product, right? But this is a bad time complexity, right? We need to do it faster than that. So you might think that, okay, this step can be done by calculating the prefix products and the suffix products, but again, that's a step in the wrong direction. What we really need to do is do it in O of n time. So this is kind of dynamic programming. At every index, okay, I will check what is my answer so far. So up to this index, what's the best answer I can make? 2. Up to this index, what's the best answer I can make? It's either 3 or it's 3 into the previous answer. 3 into 2, 6. Now here comes the tricky part. Negative numbers are allowed. So up to this index, what's the best answer I can make? So the best answer you can make at this index will be either if you had a previous smallest answer, previous negative number, you would multiply by that and your minus and minus would get cancelled, or it's simply equal to the previous positive answer. Does that make sense? Let me write it down here. So wait, here I'll have one variable that will store the best answer so far. So max so far is a standard method of solving this, right? Then I'll have my min so far. Okay, then I'll have my overall answer. So I'll call this max overall. Then I have my previous, forget that, right? I have these variables. Okay, let me set all of them as equal to the first value, right? That makes sense. So now at each step, okay, I want to find out what is the best answer at each step. That's the logic. To do this, what we are going to use is a simple single for loop, right? And we'll achieve linear time complexity. Max so far, min so far, max overall. Great. That's what we'll track at every iteration. So let's start. First value has already been accounted for, index 0. So we'll start from the value at the second index. Now, what will the answer be for the max product? It will be u into the previous max answer. So either I'm a part of the max product or I'm not. So if I'm not a part, that means I'm just going to return my previous answer. So max so far equals to the maximum value between the first, so that would be nums I, that is, assume that it's just you alone, or you multiplied by the previous max answer. Okay, is that it? No, that's not enough. Let me tell you why. Let us say that you are a minus, let's say I have an array -5, 4, 4, -3, or again -5, 1, 1. Now here when I reach -5, my previous answer would be 4 into 4, 16. but I can achieve a better answer by including all of them, right? So I have to also include taking myself with the minimum value so far. You get it? He may be negative and he also may be negative. Negative into negative may become positive. Max of all these. Now what about the min so far? Again, that would be min of, maybe this is a large negative number, or maybe it's just going to be this number multiplied by the previous answer. So like when you had -5 over here, then you came to this index, it would just become 4 into -5, -20. Here it would become 4 into -20, -80. And then finally here it would become 400, right? So that's the way we do this. But maybe you're thinking that we forgot something. And you're absolutely right. We did indeed forget something. Let's look at this array. Oh, give me a second. So here you are calculating the minimum so far. Your minimum value so far may be you alone, okay? Or it may be you along with your previous minimum value, or maybe there's also a case where what happens is like your value is there and you have to also consider you are a negative element, right? So you have to, you're a negative element. What if right before you also there was a negative element, and that so the minimum answer would be your minimum with the previous minimum, which would give me which would be taken with this min so far, and also your minimum with the previous maximum. So see here, if I didn't have this -5, over here I would compare -5 into 1, but I should also compare -5 into the maximum in the previous iteration. Did you get what I'm saying? Over here I'll compare -5, this part will compare -5, this part will compare -5 into 1, and here I need something that will compare -5 into 4 into 4 into 5. You get what I'm saying? Since you're negative, maybe you have to compare with your previous maximum. So that's it. Previous max so far. That would give us the answer. Correct? So now let's make one previous max so far. Another way to solve this would be to consider different cases. You can count if it is negative, then maybe only a few of these have to be counted if it's positive, but rather put everything in one. You know, make the code look so clean. That's it for this. And let's see if it runs successfully. Also note here, before I update max so far, I have to store it in previous max so far. So you get what I'm doing. I'm just considering every situation possible. And yep, you noticed right. Max overall, we have to also keep track of max overall. So if your answer so far is the greatest answer, total overall it's the best answer, then that would be updated. That's mainly it. Let's see with these test cases. Yeah, tricky problem, but you just have to think in terms of what is the best answer up to here, what is the best answer up to here, what is the best answer up to here. And when you do that, you will notice that at each step you have three options: you alone, you along with the previous max, you along with the previous min, you alone, u along with the previous min, and u along with the previous max. Notice I couldn't write a max so far over here because max so far got updated in this iteration, right? So that's it. Both of these are the same, just one is max, one is min. So thanks for watching, and I hope this was a nice thing. The code was good, right? As I have put it all in these max and min statements. That's maximum product subarray. If it was very confusing for you, go and search for Kadian's algorithm. Kadian's algorithm for maximum subarray. Yeah, since that is the easier problem compared to this. This is just a tougher version of that. Thanks for watching.